All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving deep into a mystery that has haunted the high seas for decades. Get ready for the truly bizarre and unsolved story of a ghost ship called the SS Orang Medan. It all starts with this. Just two words, broadcast from a ship that was about to disappear, and take a terrifying secret with it, right to the bottom of the ocean. Okay, so picture this. It's February 1948. We're in the Strait of Malacca, one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. The water's calm, everything's normal. But then, out of all that routine radio chatter, a frantic and, well, a really strange message starts breaking through the static. Now, you gotta understand, these weren't voice calls. This was Morse code, dots and dashes. It's a system designed to punch through any kind of interference. So the fact they were using it, that meant this was a serious distress call. They needed it to be heard no matter what. And if you look at the messages, you can just feel the horror escalating. It starts out as a pretty standard SOS, asking for a doctor. But then it just spirals into something else entirely, ending with that final, chilling sign-off. I die. And after that, nothing. Just silence. The line just went completely dead. Whoever was on the other end was gone. So for any nearby ships that heard this, they were left with a location and a deeply terrifying mystery. So somebody has to go check this out, right? Well, the closest ship to those coordinates was an American merchant vessel, the Silver Star. Her captain didn't hesitate. He changed course and headed straight for them, probably expecting to find a shipwreck or maybe the aftermath of a pirate attack. But what the crew of the Silver Star found wasn't a wreck at all. It was a ghost ship, just floating there, silently, under the sun. From a distance, it looked fine, perfectly normal. But something was just profoundly wrong. The whole thing was just still, too still. The captain of the Silver Star did everything he could think of to get a response. He was shouting over the loudspeaker, blasting the ship's horn, but the only thing that answered was the sound of the ocean. So he made the call. They had to go aboard. So the rescue team gets ready and climbs aboard, probably expecting the worst. But, I don't think anything could have truly prepared them for what they were about to walk into. The second they stepped foot on the Orang Medan, they knew those SOS calls were legit. The ship wasn't empty. Far from it. The crew was everywhere, just scattered all over the decks. And every single one of them was dead. But it was how they died. That's the thing. Their faces were all locked in this silent scream. Eyes wide, mouths open, staring up at nothing, like they had seen something absolutely unspeakable in their final seconds. And here's what makes this so incredibly weird. There were no signs of a struggle, no wounds, no blood, nothing to even hint at a fight or some kind of accident. It was almost as if they had been, quite literally, scared to death. The whole scene was this awful, frozen picture. You had the captain, dead on the bridge, the radio operator, slumped over his gear with his fingers still on the sending key. Some had their arms stretched out, as if they were trying to fight something off that wasn't there. Even the ship's dog. It was dead too, frozen in the middle of a snarl. So, you're the rescue team. You've just seen this nightmare. What do? Well, the logical thing, right? They decided they had to tow the ship to the nearest port. It was a floating crime scene, and the answers had to be on board somewhere. But as soon as they started attaching the tow lines, smoke began pouring out of one of the cargo holds below deck. And within moments, it just erupted into this incredibly intense fire. The rescue team had to scramble to get back to their own boat, and just in time too, because a massive explosion just ripped the Orang Medan in two. And just like that, it was gone. The ship, its silent, terrified crew, and any real hope of getting a simple answer, all of it sank to the bottom of the ocean. The only thing left was the story the horrified crew of the Silver Star had to tell. So, with no shipwreck to look at, no bodies for an autopsy, what are you left with? Well, you're left with theories and rumors. The story of the Orang Medan basically became a legend, a ghost story. But there were a few key details that kept people from just dismissing it. Here's the first huge problem for anyone trying to solve this. The ship officially didn't exist. There's no record of it in any shipping register. But you have to remember the time. This was right after World War II. It was actually pretty common for ships smuggling illegal stuff to use fake names and operate completely off the books. And then, much later, things got really interesting. In 2003, the CIA declassified a secret file, and inside it was a letter from 1958 sent to the agency that detailed the entire incident. This suggests that whatever happened out there was important enough to get on the radar of intelligence agencies.
So over the years, three main theories really took hold. The first one is a chemical leak, that the ship was smuggling something nasty and unstable, like potassium cyanide and nitroglycerin left over from the war. That would explain the quick deaths and the big explosion. The second theory points to a secret military mission, maybe transporting biological weapons from Japan's infamous Unit 731. And then, of course, there's the supernatural explanation, that the crew saw something so terrifying it literally scared them to death.
Now, we're probably never going to know for sure, but the most logical theory, the one that kind of ticks all the boxes, really points to that dangerous, smuggled cargo. A mix of deadly gas and unstable explosives from the post-war chaos. It seems to explain everything: the sudden deaths with no injuries, and the ship's own violent, fiery end. The real truth of the SS Orang Medan is down there at the bottom of the Malacca Strait, guarded by its silent, screaming crew. It's a pretty chilling reminder that the ocean doesn't give up its secrets easily. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What else is down there?